than being paid out, everything's fine. And I can keep that up for a while. I can keep that up when people see that I'm paying out nice, dividends. They're going to start rushing to me. So I can keep that up for a while. But at some point, I can't pay out enough because I don't have enough coming in. And she's now at the point where she's warning him that we're going to implode in a wave of accounting scandals. Remember, it was in February that somebody first raised the question. Now we're in the summer. In August, Ken Lay sells $16 million of his stock, and Skilling sells $15 million. All the while advising other people, including the employees, to buy more Enron stock because it had gone down a little bit, and now they were saying it's a good buy. You should buy more Enron stock. In September, Lay assures the company is in good shape, urges the employees to buy more stock. On October 22nd, the SEC begins an inquiry, and Ken Lay says, "We welcome your inquiry." And about 3 weeks later, they acknowledge widespread accounting errors and file for bankruptcy. And the value of the stock goes down to zero. And the employees whose retirement and 401ks were invested in that, nothing. People lost their job, and they walked away with nothing. Arthur Andersen was their outside auditor. This is a company that had been in existence for 90 years. Arthur Andersen, accounting firms, of course, value most of all their reputation. Arthur Andersen routinely signed off on these dubious financial deals. Why? Why would Arthur Andersen sign off on these SPEs that were clearly just there to defraud investors? Well, here we go again with the interconnections and the interdependence and the intricacies. Auditing is not that profitable. I mean, accounting firms make money as auditors, but not that much, because auditing is like a commodity. Everybody does the same thing, so you might as well just go for whoever's the cheapest. But there's something that accounting firms do that's really profitable, and it's not auditing, it's consulting. They make a lot of money consulting. And Arthur Andersen was making millions consulting. Who were they consulting for? Enron. They were consulting with these SPEs. And so the word went out that, hey, we're making a lot of money showing them how to set up these SPEs and manage them. We're charging them millions, so we sure would hate to see our auditors tell them that it's not a good idea. During the SEC investigation, Arthur Andersen organized the shredding of incriminating documents. And after 90 years, Arthur Andersen was out of business. Gone. As is Enron. Gone. No. I told you at the very beginning of this course that this was not a course where we would bird dog business and try to find things that people did wrong and jump up and down and point and say, see, business is bad. I don't feel that way. Quite the opposite. It's because I have so much faith in business. It's because I know that we're not going to solve problems in this world. These problems are too big to be solved by you or me or even governments. Without business, we're not going to solve these problems. So more than anything, I want our businesses to be strong and healthy and all of those things. I'm not here to tear down business, quite the opposite. But what I am here to tear down is blind, overly simplistic ideologies that open the door for this kind of behavior that allows people to make money quickly and run away before anybody else catches up to them, and leaves the rest of us to have to pay the cost of this behavior. This is no different than snake oil salesmen that used to be around during the, when the Wild West was in existence. These guys would roll into town in their wagons, and they would open up the back of the wagon and say, I'm selling a magic elixir that cures everything. And people would sort of crowd around, and they would say, sir, what is it that ails you? And the guys, oh, man, I got heartburn. Oh, this cures heartburn. What about you? And, well, I got cancer. Oh, this cures cancer. And you, oh, this cures that. It's magic. It's a magic secret formula. And they sell it to everybody. So, I'll take a bottle, I'll take a bottle. And the guy sells it. And everybody goes home, and they wake up the next morning, and they've been poisoned with this crap, And they go to get the guy, let's get that guy, and he's gone. He's on to the next town. And he's sitting there now in the next town saying, I got this wonderful elixir, it's magic. And he just outruns his reputation. He outruns it. And this has always been a concern in any kind of transaction. Any kind of transaction. You can outrun your reputation. And it's just like the ring of Gyges that we had talked about. If you act with impunity and you outrun your reputation, then the system is going to fail if we allow this to happen. So this is all I'm concerned about. And I want to make sure that when it comes time for us to take a look at these different stakeholders, investors are important ones. I want their interests to be addressed, for sure. But I don't want a blind ideology to steer us in such a way so that we create a system that allows us to make quick, fortunes and run away, leaving other people to ultimately pay the cost. And by the way, you shouldn't have to look very far to find examples of what I'm talking about. That this is the concern that we have. So, all right. Any questions or comments?
Just a quick question. I guess I wasn't as familiar with the Enron situation. I knew a very high-level story about that. Were the creation of all these SPEs, was that public knowledge, and that they were being celebrated for finding a way to?
It was public knowledge in the sense that it was footnotes on the financial statements.
So in Time Magazine, that wasn't the strategy that was mentioned.
No.
They're just making money.
The SPEs were just dummy corporations. They weren't, nobody was working there. These were just corporations set up for the purpose of letting me supposedly hedge my bets, so that I've got a bunch of SPEs, and that I'm not the only one at risk. Now, all of us are at risk. The problem is all of these SPEs are funded with Enron stock. So I'm just borrowing money for myself here. I'm just hedging my bets with myself. That Enron stock goes down, all these SPEs go down, and I go down. So there was no hedging of anything. But it was legal to create SPEs. These are legal, and they make sense. Not the way Enron was using them, but they make sense so that, in a fluctuating market, I can stabilize it by hedging my bets. I don't make as much when the thing goes up, but I don't lose as much when the thing goes down. That's what it means to hedge your bets. It was just they found a way to use this gimmick to fool investors. When people try to hold them accountable, they said you're biased. And everybody goes, oh yeah, they're biased, So